Rather than making us understand the motivations of these evildoers, these origins just make us laugh.
No man can resist the claws of this cat.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 dumbest supervillain origins. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at the origins of supervillains that are ridiculous, strange, or just plain dumb. Origin stories get retconned and retold constantly, so we'll only be looking at how they first appeared in the original comics, as well as any updates that may have made them even dumber. Number 10, Flag Smasher. Imagine there's no countries, it isn't hard to do. Well, this view was not only popularized by John Lennon, but Karl Morgenthau also developed this dream as he traveled the world with his father, a Swiss diplomat. After his father's death, Karl looked to somehow turn his vision of ending nationalism into a reality. Eventually, he found what he believed to be the best method. Not by becoming a diplomat, politician, or humanitarian, but by becoming a terrorist, naturally. Yes, Karl became the villainous Flag Smasher, creating a terrorist organization called Ultimatum to end the concept of nations. Yeah, we aren't sure if we follow the logic either, but whatever. Number 9, Rainbow Raider. Let's see if you can spot the moment where this origin story jumps the shark. Roy Bivolo dreamed of becoming an artist, even at a very young age. While having great technical skill, Roy suffered from color blindness, causing many to consider his art ugly due to the clash in colors. Roy's father, an optometrist, promised to solve his son's ailment, but died before doing so. Sounds reasonable so far, right? Okay. But instead, he gave Roy a pair of goggles that could create solid beams of rainbow-colored light. Mr. Bivolo, you know that Roy still can't see those colors, right? Well, anyway, Roy ended up using that seemingly useless device for crime, becoming the Rainbow Raider. You don't see him around too much anymore, eh? Number 8, the Kangaroo. Frank Oliver grew up in Australia and spent his time watching kangaroos, studying how they ran, jumped, and fought. He also trained himself during this time, gaining the ability to jump and leap like a kangaroo. However, instead of becoming an Olympic long jumper, Frank decided his skills would be better suited elsewhere, as a boxer. You know, the sport where you can only use your hands. It's not too surprising that Frank was later banned after kicking an opponent in the face. With charges about to be pressed, Frank fled, stowing away on a boat to the United States. Managing to evade the authorities, Frank decided to become the Kangaroo. Number 7, Ten-Eyed Man. Philip Reardon, a war veteran, was discharged due to a shrapnel injury. After taking a security job, the warehouse he was guarding was robbed. Thieves attacked Reardon, knocked him out, and then planted a bomb, as thieves tend to do, right? Reardon awoke before the bomb went off to see Batman. In his disoriented state, he attacked Batman, apparently believing that he was a thief with a cape. He realized the truth as the bomb went off, which aggravated his war wound, blinding him. His doctor then somehow managed to move his 2 optic nerves to his 10 fingertips, allowing to see through his fingers, because that makes sense. He then swore revenge on Batman for reasons. Number 6, Big Wheel. Here's an example of what not to do if name called. Jackson Wheel was a businessman who embezzled money from his company. Fearing that he might be caught, Wheel hired the criminal, Rocket Racer, to steal the evidence that linked him to the crime. Racer instead used the stolen evidence as blackmail against Wheel. Wheel attempted suicide, but was stopped by Racer. During this entire story, Racer had been calling Wheel some nasty names, calling him, wait for it, Big Wheel. Apparently being humiliated by that horrible nickname, Wheel visited the Tinkerer, who created a large metal wheel with gadgets that could climb buildings. Wheel then used Racer's taunt as his inspiration, becoming Big Wheel. What if Racer called him something worse? I guess we'll never know. Number 5, Professor Zoom, aka Reverse Flash.
Here he is, the Sultan of Swoosh, the Scarlet Speedster, the once great Flash.
While the Reverse Flash's revised origin is pretty interesting, his first appearance origin is really dumb. Eobard Thawne, a man from the 25th century, found one of the Flash's suits in a time capsule. He was able to amplify the suit's energy, giving himself speedster abilities as long as he wore it, reversing the colors of the costume. Thawne became Professor Zoom and went on a crime spree. However, the time capsule also contained a bomb, because comics, which was activated once the capsule was opened. The Flash manages to deal with the bomb and defeats Professor Zoom, burning his yellow costume in a furnace.
I'm the Flash. Speed is my game.
Number 4, Crazy Quilt. This is interesting, another criminal artist with a color problem. Paul Decker was a very famous painter, stop me if you've heard this one before, who also led a double life as a crime lord, leaving his criminal plans for his henchmen in his paintings, which is, as we all know, the simplest way to communicate with others. His empire came crashing down when one of his henchmen double-crossed him, setting him up to be arrested. Decker managed to get away, but he was blinded by a gunshot wound. He later volunteered for an experimental procedure that restored his vision. However, despite being able to see, he was left with reverse color blindness, kinda, only able to see bright colors. Terrifying. Number 3, Cheetah.
Surrender now, Cheetah, and spare yourself another humiliating defeat.
But Wonder Woman, darling, what fun would that be?
We guess the moral lesson here is don't steal someone's spotlight or else they might become a cat-themed villain. Priscilla Rich was a popular socialite who also suffered from an inferiority complex and dissociative identity disorder. After being showed up by Wonder Woman at a charity event, Priscilla attempted to kill her. When that inevitably failed, she retreated to her apartment and raged. While looking at a mirror, she saw a reflection of herself in a cheetah costume. Why a cheetah, you ask? Well, you're asking too many questions, boyo. The reflection then commands Rich to construct a suit out of her cheetah skin rug and become her true self. Rich does as she's told and becomes the first iteration of Cheetah. Number 2, Composite Superman. To gain fame, Joseph Meach sets up a stunt which involved diving from a building into a tank of water. Unbeknownst to him, the tank leaked. Superman noticed and saved Meach before he landed, pointing out that he kind of almost dove into an inch of water. Superman also helped Meach get a job by offering him a janitorial position at the Superman Museum. Despite helping him twice, Meach still blamed Superman for his misfortunes for, again, reasons. One night, Meach was struck by lightning while cleaning the Legion of Superheroes statuettes. He then discovered that he had the combined powers of all the members. He then set out to defeat his tormentor Superman, and Batman too, because why not? Number 1, the Matador. Manuel Elganto was a skilled and famous bullfighter who was known for his brutality in the arena, causing him to be unpopular amongst the audience. During what ended up being his final fight, the audience booed him so loudly that it distracted Elganto, which led to him being gored by a bull. After his recovery, he swore vengeance upon humanity. A level-headed response considering it was humanity's fault for Elganto's inability to pay attention, and how dare the audience boo him because they didn't like watching him brutally kill an animal. Anyway, at least this is finally a villain with a pure and simple motivation. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.